Howdy, my name is Jazlyn Gonzalez. I am part of group number 6 with Andres Garza, and today we will be presenting over Lab 1 hand washing. So, we will be talking about the introduction, the materials, the procedure, observations, results, and our conclusion. Hand washing is a very important method used to prevent the spread of infectious diseases. Our hands touch and encounter everything daily and end up carrying a variety of microorganisms. The purpose of this experiment was to compare the effectiveness of hand washing with water alone versus with soap and water in reducing the presence of microbes. By swabbing the thumb before and after washing and inoculating blood agar plates, we can observe the change in bacteria growth. Here are a list of our materials that we used in the lab. We used 4 labeled blood agar plates. We needed 8 sterile cotton swabs, a vial of saline solution, deionized water, soap, and a sponge. Moving to our procedure, starting with our right thumb. Number 1. Dip a sterile cotton swab in a saline solution and swab your right thumb. Inoculate the section of the plate labeled R1. Number 2. At your workbench, rub your right thumb and your pointer finger together under deionized water for 1 minute. Now, inoculate the section of the plate labeled R2 with a sterile cotton swab. 3. Rub your right thumb and pointer finger under deionized water for an additional 2 minutes. Inoculate the section of the plate labeled R3 with a sterile cotton swab. 4. Rub your right thumb and pointer finger under deionized water for an additional 3 minutes. Inoculate the section of the plate labeled R4 with a sterile cotton swab. Overall, R1 should be the thumb before washing, R2 should be the thumb after 1 minute of water washing, R3 should be the thumb after 3 total minutes of water washing, and R4 should be the thumb after 6 total minutes of water washing. Now for your left thumb. 6. Dip a sterile cotton swab in a saline solution and swab your left thumb. Inoculate the section of the plate labeled L1. 7. At your workbench, scrub your left thumb with a soapy sponge for 1 minute. Rinse off with deionized water and inoculate the section of the plate labeled L2 with a sterile cotton swab. 8. Scrub your left thumb with a soapy sponge for an additional 2 minutes. Rinse off with deionized water and inoculate the section of the plate labeled L3 with a sterile cotton swab. 9. Scrub your left thumb with a soapy sponge for an additional 3 minutes. Rinse off with deionized water and inoculate the section of the plate labeled L4 with a sterile cotton swab. Overall, L1 should be the thumb before washing. L2 should be the thumb after 1 minute of soap washing. L3 should be the thumb after 3 total minutes of soap washing. And L4 should be the thumb after 6 total minutes of soap washing.
As for our results with hand washing with only water, it was observed that in R1 there was an abundant bacterial growth which was observed as no hand washing was performed. Moving on to R2, bacterial growth showed a slight decrease compared to the initial culture. And as for R3, growth appeared slightly higher than before. However, no drastic change was observed. Lastly, on R4, bacterial growth was slightly reduced compared to the previous culture, but overall the results appeared inconsistent. This was most likely due to human error and ineffective hand washing. Moving on to our results of the hand washing using soap and water, it was observed that in L1, a significant bacterial growth was observed on the blood agar plate, indicating a high bacterial presence before any washing with soap. As for L2, washing the thumb for 1 minute effectively reduced the amount of bacteria present. However, in L3, washing the thumb for an additional 2 minutes, totaling to 3, nearly eliminated all bacterial growth. And lastly, for L4, hand washing with soap for a total of 6 minutes unexpectedly resulted in the greatest amount of bacterial growth. However, it was suspected that this was most likely due to human error. In conclusion, the hand washing experiment demonstrated that proper hygiene techniques can significantly reduce bacterial presence on the skin. Washing with soap and water generally showed a greater reduction in bacteria compared to water alone, though some inconsistent results suggested human error may have influenced the outcomes. But overall, the findings support the importance of thorough and effective hand washing in minimizing microbial contamination and preventing the spread of disease. This concludes the presentation of our hand washing experiment, and thank you guys for watching.